Well, if you've ever been frustrated with the cost of concert tickets or wondered why it's so complicated to buy or resell them, you're not alone. A U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, is examining whether the company that dominates ticket sales has become a monopoly.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
The concern follows the botched rollout of Taylor Swift tour tickets last year. Industry giant Ticketmaster says its website was overwhelmed by fans and bot accounts. Many people lost tickets after waiting in the online queue for hours. Fans had been required to register for the sale ahead of time. Millions did. But Ticketmaster suddenly canceled sales because it was unable to meet the demand. CBC's Cameron McIntosh is tracking the story for us in Washington. So, Cam, what are the concerns here?
Well, Hillary, the first lesson in all this is don't mess with the Swifties. You may find yourself on the floor of the U.S. Senate, and that's exactly where Ticketmaster found itself today. And at a time when it seems like you can't get any consensus here in Washington, whether it's the debt ceiling or classified documents, along comes Ticketmaster, and boy, were Republican and Democratic senators both singing from the same songbook today, criticizing Ticketmaster, not just for the botched Taylor Swift rollout, which saw 3.5 billion applications for tickets or attempts to get tickets. Ticketmaster says in that there were more than 3 times the normal amount of cyber attacks, bots trying to snatch up tickets that it normally gets. But really hearing from the senators today about criticisms that Ticketmaster and its parent are just too big and have too much influence over the live music industry. Live Nation controls Ticketmaster. Today, its CFO spoke before the Senate, but before that, we heard from senators really going after that criticism that Ticketmaster and Live Nation have just become too big since their merger in 2010. Here's Senator Dick Durbin.
In the decade plus since the merger, Live Nation has consolidated its dominant position in the ticketing and live entertainment markets, and the result is a competition-killing strategy that has left artists and fans paying the price.
Now, not only is Live Nation selling tickets, it also produces tours and in some circumstances even owns the venues. So it's got a piece of the chain all along, basically from the sale of the ticket right to when the music fan is either at the concert or even at a sporting event. So today we also heard from the CFO of Live Nation. He apologized for the Taylor Swift rollout, didn't talk a lot about Ticketmaster's fees, but did say that Ticketmaster does need help in improving its service when it comes to dealing with electronic scalping and called on the U.S. government to help it with that. Here's more of what he had to say.
Many things we can and should accomplish together. We should enlarge the scope of the Bots Act and increase enforcement. We should enact categorical prohibitions on fraudulent ticket practices, including deceptive URLs and offering for sale tickets before they're on sale in the primary. We should mandate all-in pricing so that fans see the full cost of their tickets from the start. We share your goal of making live entertainment industry better for artists, teams, and fans alike, and it's in that spirit that I sit before you today.
So that's the word from Ticketmaster. Of course, not a lot of sympathy coming from the senators today. They're seeing this as something that they can really gain ground on. After all, as you said, Hillary, who hasn't had the experience of paying a high ticket price or just not getting access to something.
But what fixes this? Any sense, Cam, on possible corrective measures here?
Well, you know, there's a lot of speculation about that, and you know, not a lot of answers coming forward today. Ticketmaster is also the subject of a Department of Justice antitrust investigation that came about as a result of the Taylor Swift fiasco. It's looking into whether or not Ticketmaster simply is too big and is abusing its market position. There could be something coming out from that. There could be some political pressure coming from this committee for the Department of Justice to act. We also heard today from some artists and some of Ticketmaster's competitors saying that Ticketmaster / Live Nation is just too big, too influential, and they'd like to see it split up.
Okay, Cameron, thank you so much for all of this. The CBC's Cameron McIntosh for us in Washington.